Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? Doing good? Thank you all for coming to 1 Million Cups. As you know, I see some familiar faces, so I'll kind of give a quick rundown. 1 Million Cups, of course, is a Kauffman Foundation initiative. The goal being, if we can share 1 million cups of coffee with each other and talk about entrepreneurship and hear great stories like the one we're going to hear today, that we can advance our overall local economy through entrepreneurship. So today is kind of a special day for me because of the presenter we have. Jake Arnold, who you'll hear from in a second. He's a close friend of mine, met 6 years ago in Fayetteville, Arkansas, when I went up there to go to college and then do other things up there too. But really, he was kind of a role model for me at the time. He was in my fraternity, he was the pledge trainer. So he was the one that whipped us into shape. But aside from that, he always was a really genuine person. And then kind of that genuine nature has bled through into a great product, a great company. And I'm really excited to introduce Jake Arnold and OJOG.
Good morning, everybody. Can y'all hear me through the microphone? All right, good. Thank you, guys. Like he said, I'm Jake Arnold. I'm here to present my business. It's a limited production men's clothing line located in Fayetteville, Arkansas, called Our Journey Original Garments, or OJOG. So to get everything started, I'm going to take you guys on a quick walk through my personal style over the years to frame up where my mind was when it came together. So growing up, I liked two things: sports and hip hop. So one inspiration, as you can see, is the big jackets, big hoodies, the Timberland boots, and the sneakers. Eventually, I got into college at the U of A, as he mentioned. I joined a fraternity. I quickly discovered collared shirts and binge drinking. By the time I was a senior, I just wanted to be as comfortable and casual as possible, which you can see here, not many colors or anything going on. And then, bam, I graduate college, I get a job, I'm in the working world, and I have to develop a wardrobe, and I have absolutely no idea where to start. The clothes that I could afford either didn't fit me properly, or they were too far out there to service the building blocks that I needed. So I set out to solve my own problem, and OJOG is born. So we'll break this down into two parts: OJ and OG. OJ, Our Journey, is a reference to the idea of developing a wardrobe over the life of this business, specifically for my generation. So as time passes and our interests and needs evolve, so will my designs. And then Original Garments is in reference to the design process itself. I deconstruct clothing down to its core purpose and then reconstruct it with a distinct focus on fit, function, and fabric. So we're going to look at how that's applied to the products that we've released thus far this year. Here's a few of them up here. When you compare our garments to traditional ones you see on the market today, we have a broader shoulder, a broader chest, a longer sleeve, a longer body, and a slight taper from the chest down to the waist. So with that broader chest and shoulder, that slight taper cleans up the silhouette ever so slightly without being slim or tight-fitting to the body. On top of that, everything that we designed has a bit of function built into it. So we have a patent pending on this little patch right here. We do it on our dress shirts and on our t-shirts here. It's for hanging your eyeglasses or your sunglasses. And every single piece has something built into it to add a little bit of functionality into it. So as you can see, everything that we've produced as well is completely unbranded. We want our customers to be able to tell their own story. And we think that our perfect target customer participates in a variety of activities and takes nods from everything. So we're unbranded, and we want to be in that position of each different type of garment that's out there. If we want to build a wardrobe, we're going to do a little bit of everything. On top of it all, we really listen to our customers. We actually crowdsource fit updates and product ideas from the people that we call our fam, the forever ahead of many. When we have new products come out, we actually give them 24 hours access to the products before anyone else gets it from the public. And if you can't tell, I really like acronyms, OJOG and FAM, so those should be the only two. So year to date, we launched in March of this year. We've had 3 product drops, that one in March, one in June, and then one last month in November. We've had approximately 500 orders, $25,000 in sales, and about $50 per our average order. And we're doing all of this with a really small team. I have one investor back in Fayetteville. He's an entrepreneur as well. He's developed a $1 million business, but I handle everything from A to Z, from business strategy all the way to fulfilling packages and dropping them off at FedEx. However, I do work with a few people. I have a videographer, Nick Bayhash. He handles all of our content, so videos, photography, and then Olive Loom, who wasn't able to make it here today to present to you guys, handles our product development and our production for the time being. So I'm lucky to have them. Sourcing that in Northwest Arkansas is not the easiest thing to do. So our plan moving forward, in Q1 and Q2 of next year, we're going to develop our 10 core products. We're going to continue our small run productions, approximately 200 units per run, in order to continue to increase our operating capital. By the end of next year, we'll have sourced our fabric, our trim, and our manufacturing at scale in order to take those core products to trade shows in spring of 2017 for our fall 2017 product line. That way we can start to develop our wholesale accounts. For the rest of the year, we'll continue doing trade shows and developing products moving forward. So with this is our first investment round that we're seeking, and it's $250,000 as a seed round next year. I kind of ran through that pretty quickly. This is my first time to present the business. I consider myself the luckiest guy in the whole world to have the opportunity to chase my dreams at 26 in the place that I love, Arkansas. And I intend to work to bring this vision to fruition. So I figure we could go ahead and kick it off to some questions, and maybe that can get some of the dialogue going on into some of the more specific aspects of the business.
Everybody give it up for Jake. Come on. All right, yeah, just raise your hand if you have a question. I'll come drop the mic by.
Don't be shy.
Hello, I'm Susie, and I was wondering, where are these clothes being made?
So our first production run took place in California in a huge scale manufacturing facility. We ran into quite a problems there. We were their smallest customer by over $1 million. Patagonia came in and dropped 25,000 units of t-shirts, which pushed us back 3 months. I sourced another manufacturer in Tennessee. Great folks. They've been doing this since the late 1970s, but they have a very high minimum production run. So when I found Olive Loom in my backyard of Fayetteville, we brought the production back to Arkansas. We can do all of our development there, so it's a blessing. So long answer, California, Tennessee, Arkansas, but we believe in American domestic manufacturing, and that's one of the things that we want to emphasize with the business. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, what's up, man? My name's David. Do you think that like social media and just new media in general has sort of leveled the playing field for smaller clothing companies? And do you think this would be possible, say, 10, 15 years ago to launch something like this?
So absolutely not. It wouldn't be possible 10 or 15 years ago. Social media plays a huge role in it. And one of the things that we want to do, the Our Journey, is an allusion to the idea of showing you guys behind the scenes. So if you check out our website or any of our Instagram or Twitter, you'll see that I show you where we manufacture these clothes, how we're putting things together. You get to see that intimate side. And I think that's what our generation is looking to see, is that authentic, behind the scenes, flat-footed approach that you don't get from conglomerates or the big brands that are out there.
So whenever we were getting out and getting ready to go, Jake stayed with me last night. He opened up the trunk of his car this morning, and there was just, what do you call it, those massive spools of just different kinds of fabric.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of the vetting process of the fabric, what goes into making sure that, hey, we're not just making a T-shirt, we're making a T-shirt, and the focus on the fabric?
Yeah, so much goes into it. So I said fit, function, and fabric. It's really all happening simultaneously. If it doesn't fit well, it doesn't work. You know, your fabric has to be really soft on top of that. So I'm kind of a fabric nerd. Jumping into this business 2 years ago, I didn't know very much at all, but I'm learning very quickly. So for example, our first shirts were 100% organic jersey cotton that we did in California. Organic jersey cotton is going to shrink about 5% in length and 2 to 2.5% in width over the life of a garment. So when we're doing our fit and we're speccing out our patterns, we actually take that into account. So our clothes will fit better after they're washed and dried as a result of that fabric. The shirt that he's wearing right there is actually from our most recent run. We switched to a tri-blend fabric, which is 50% polyester, 38% cotton, and 12% rayon. So polyester allows it to not shrink and really hold its shape. That 38% cotton makes it really nice and soft, and that rayon gives it a good amount of stretch and durability over the life of it. So we do, I'm, again, a fabric nerd. I play with fabrics and I'm constantly sourcing them. That's one of the most important things there, is softness and then how it's going to perform over the life of the garment. Because if you buy something, wash it and dry it once, and it doesn't fit you anymore, it's worthless.
Hey, Mike Steely. This sounds a little bit like, let's say, probably the biggest brand out there, right? American Giant, and some of the things they're doing in the hoodie space, which is working really well, but it's a really, really competitive market that you're entering. From an investor standpoint, tell me about the tag.
So what we have the patent pending on, is that what you're saying? Yes. So let's run it back. So patents in fashion, the fashion and apparel industry, are almost impossible to come by. There's different variations and everything to go on there, but specifically what this is this is our patch pocket, which is a patch piece of fabric that sits on top of your chest, like I'm wearing right here. There's a pin sleeve going down it, but the patent itself sits on this piece of polyester satin ribbon, and this here is a different type of ribbon. The shirts that we did, this most recent one, are a piece of velvet, actually. We put it on the side patch, but the patent itself is being affixed down on either side so that you can hang your eyeglasses or your sunglasses on the outside of that pin sleeve, so it's not hanging from your neck, you don't tip over, and it falls off.
So how much interest have you had if you lead with the patent versus leading with a fashion design thus far?
In regard to what? Interest?
In regards to investment.
So we're just beginning this investment round. We've been fortunate to be able to kind of baby step it up into this point, and this is the first time that I'm even presenting the potential of an investment round. So it's something where I'm so focused on learning. I'm not a traditionally trained designer. I'm learning so much about fabric and construction and how to put this all together that this is kind of a slow grow. This isn't, in a year from now, it'll be time to blow it out of the park when we go to the trade shows and have that much more information.
Can you talk about kind of looking forward? Obviously you're going online direct to consumer right now and having success. Are there plans for brick and mortar in the future, or how do you see that transition happening? Yeah,
so we focused almost all of our efforts in direct to consumers, e-commerce through our website. Fortunately, being from Arkansas, being a townie in Fayetteville, I have a large group of friends and family, and I direct sell most of our products. We're in one brick and mortar retail store in Fayetteville, Walker Brothers. We've done a few trade shows, but we actually have to focus on e-commerce at this time because it's extremely expensive to produce domestically here in the US. And then when you change that and you actually have your own patterns, which are the pieces that you cut out of fabric to put together that are subjective just to your company, the development costs and the production skyrockets. So in order to bring clothing out that I can afford, being a broke entrepreneur in my generation is extremely important to us. So it's the emphasis for the time being until we can develop this portfolio and get everything sourced at large so we can go to trade shows in 2017.
Hey, Luke Irvin with South Ventures. So the first article I read this morning was the announcement with Lauren James and her expansion. And I've been following, my wife's a fashion designer, so I follow this stuff every day, like every second of every day. So the trend that I see going on with all the ladies up there is, they're focusing on e-commerce and then they're doing all their stores in Dallas. Are you working with any of them? Do you think you'll follow their model?
So it's an interesting point that you bring up. He's speaking to you guys next week, I believe. Lance Stokes of Lauren James, which is Lauren's husband. Lauren and I graduated high school together. They're close friends. They're the first people that I went to when I had this idea in regard to help building up the process. They put me in contact with that manufacturer in California. I've developed my own sources since then, but in regard to their strategy, it's a bit different in regard to their very brand heavy, very Southern centric, and they've done an immaculate, a really amazing job. They're probably the fastest growing fashion brand in the entire country. If you guys aren't familiar, they're located in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I think they'll probably clear $20 million this year. They're a true testament to it. So I learned from them, certainly. I mimic some of their strategy, but they're a tough one to be the same as, for sure. What does your wife do?
So my wife is a fashion designer at Dillard's. Her specialty is kids, so if you go to Dillard's, shop for kids, copper key, that's like all her work.
Right. What's the announcement for Lauren James, their screen printing facility?
It was like their $1 million expansion. They're going to open their store in Dallas, Fort Worth, and they're going to be in Dillard's as well.
Yep.
So
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And they've done all this in about two and a half years.
Yeah.
Eric Francis, so building on that, what methods and techniques are you going to use to expand your brand and open awareness? You talk about being a broke young man who needs good clothes. There's a lot of broke young men who need good clothes out there, but being broke isn't usually a demographic you look for
Right.
selling. So
yeah, I know we'll take the rich ones too, certainly as our customers.
But how do you get their attention, and how do you sell to them?
So through our marketing and our content, we try to, I don't want people to take me too seriously, but at the same time, this is not a game. So everything that we do like this, we're going to start with a bit of a joke. We're going to kind of keep it very leveled, and we want it to be authentic. I want people to be able to relate to me. I'm the only person that I know of a clothing brand where you know the designer on any level up until you get into luxury prices. So to have that face value of someone that you can relate to, I think will help us moving forward. Getting something to go viral is certainly a challenge. So these trade shows, small boutique shows, getting the products out to mavens that I've identified in the industry is kind of our strategy as we continue to baby step it, certainly without an investment at this point.
One thing, you didn't really mention this as much, but I think I ordered like a shirt and a hat from him, and something that I might have been on there called the hookup. I mean, I opened it and I had an extra 2 t-shirts just sent to me with a handwritten note in it and 2 stickers, or actually 3 stickers. And it was just like, whenever you open up a package like that, it just floors you because you're just so not used to it. And a buddy of mine who I recommended order something had the same thing happen. And he texted me and said, man, I think there might've been a mistake. Like, he sent me like twice the stuff that I ordered, and it was all because it's really like there's such a bigger picture behind the vision, and you follow through that. Is there any more questions? Anybody? Going once, go.
So coming from more of the tech side of things and looking at your investment, how do you look at something like a Jack Threads where they're bringing not only, it seems like a similar demographic. Now, of course, they're doing it with existing brands and reselling products, although they are bringing kind of some of their own generic things as well. But, how do you see that where their investment play also includes a tech aspect of that?
The biggest difference between Jack Threads and what it is that I'm doing is the fit. I mean, I didn't touch on that quite enough, but I'm sure every guy in here can speak to the problems that we all have. We're in between 2 sizes completely. If I buy a medium shirt, it'll fit me in the length, but it'll be way too tight through my chest and shoulders. If I buy a large, it'll cover me upstairs, but it's going to be giant and boxy through the body of the garment. So you're stuck with something that's too tight or with something that's, boxy and sloppy. So that's really where we're differentiating ourselves. Admittedly, I've already had my fit stolen to the T by another brand that's located not too terribly far away from where I am, but that's a part of the fashion industry. So that's why we're looking at taking this investment on right now, or over 2016, is to hit the ground running with some of the more specific micro ideas that I can't really quite get into in presentations like this because of how fast the industry moves. So there's certainly similarities, and Jack Threads does a good job curating their product offering, but we're a little bit different than that.
Any more questions, anybody? So at this part, I'd like to kind of open it up to Jake, and if there's any ask, this is what we do at the end of every 1 million cups. If there's an ask that you have of anybody in the audience or the collective audience, one ask can be anything in the world that's going to help you as a person, as a business, as an entrepreneur.
So I would say, first, thanks everybody for being here and having the questions. That helps me out. The best thing that I can have right now is that, like, those kind of tough questions. So if there's anything that you haven't asked that you want to get at me for, that helps me wrap my mind around whatever the concept is from a different perspective. So I certainly appreciate it. And over the year or over the next period of time, if y'all see anything that makes you think of us, reach out and let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys and to crowdsource some ideas from you.
Excellent, excellent. All right, everybody, give one more hand for Jake. All right, so that's we're wrapping up. Next week, we're going to have a good presenter as well. Like you mentioned, Lance Stokes with Lauren James is going to come. This should be an extremely good pitch as well. Thank you all for coming out. This was a really good turnout. And like I said, this was a special event for me, having one of my buddies come out and just absolutely kill it. Can you believe that was his first time to pitch ever? Seriously, that was his first time ever. That was impressive. That was impressive. So big thanks to Kauffman Foundation for putting this on. Big thanks to everybody for coming. Please stop by, ask Jake some questions like he asked. If you just have anything that you're mulling over in your head, if you'd like to get some clothing from him, all the social media and the website is up there. Once again, thank you for attending 1 Million Cups, and let's go drink some coffee.